Hey guys, Tarke here, and I just want to talk about something very quick since everyone's pestering me for 3.6 things, and these are just things to think when it comes to picking your starter build. Now, I will do actual dedicated starter build videos, but this is just going to help you decide what you can play maybe. So, point number one, everything does damage. In 3.5, you could take basically any skill and do all the content in the game with it, and most things got buffed indirectly. So if you're like, but Tarke, will this build do damage? Yes. It could kill content last league, a lot of skills are better, it can probably kill it, so don't worry too much. 2, play what you find fun. So if you're like, oh, I really enjoy playing Brands, but Brands got nerfed slightly, then play Brands, because Brands will still do enough damage, you can do all the content with it. If you don't enjoy a build, then you're not going to enjoy playing the game, and for some people, they can play builds they hate to earn currency. But if you're picking a skill you don't like to have a good league start, and then you're not a very efficient player and you spend a really long time getting your good league start, and you hate the entire experience, you're more likely to burn out. It's better that you have a slower start, but enjoy what you're doing, don't burn out, play Path of Exile for longer, and then min-max the build further. Next up, Cultist versus Trickster. I get a lot of questions, Tarke, Cultist versus Trickster. Personally, I was playing Trickster over Cultist last league just because I really like Trickster, and then they buffed Trickster, so I'm still playing Trickster. That being said, a Cultist is fine. So if we go back to play what you find fun and everything does damage, if you really like Chaos Explosions and Chaos Explosions are what you love, then play a Cultist because that will feel better to you. If you like having really smooth attack and cast speed, then play Trickster because Trickster will feel better for you because it has that attack and cast speed. Profane Bloom buffs map clear, attack and cast speed buffs map clear. Pick which you prefer. Or, do the thing where you play one build as a Cultist and you play it again as Trickster, and that can be a fun kind of like league goal for you. So let's say you really want to play Vortex or you really want to play Essence Drain, you could do like an Essence Drain Cultist, and then do like an Essence Drain Trickster, and then compare between the two. Inquis versus Elementalist versus Trickster. Inquis is really good, and it got buffed. Elementalist is really good. Trickster's really good. If you really like the new Consecrated Ground stuff, then maybe play Inquis, because that will feel more new and exciting than Elementalist. That being said, Elementalist does a bunch of damage. That also being said, everything already does damage. So if you just want attack and cast speed, then probably pick Trickster or Inquisitor over Elementalist. If you really enjoy having very large path of building numbers, then pick Elementalist. If Impulsor is your favorite chess piece in the game, then probably pick Elementalist. That being said, if you pick Inquis, Elementalist, or Trickster, all options are fine. But Tarke, my skill got nerfed. I can't play Brands because Brands got a damage nerf. Keep in mind that nearly every single patch we see power creep. So we see power creep through items becoming more powerful. We have new uniques which open up new build design. The passive skill tree has been substantially buffed for spells in particular. So if your favorite spell saw like a 10 to 20% damage nerf, you need to think, am I going to get that 10 to 20% damage back on gear improvements and passive skill tree improvements and ascendancy improvements? If the answer to all of those things is yes, then you haven't actually lost any damage. And if you go back to the first point, everything does damage, so it doesn't really matter if you went from...
Nerf shamans.
It doesn't really matter if you went from one-shotting enemies to still one-shotting enemies. Also, if you're someone who never does Uber Elder or Uber Zeri or never pushes like really deep delves, it doesn't really matter, because if all you're doing is just like bumble fucking around yellow maps because you can't progress into red maps, then you can play literally any skill in the game and have a really, really, really good time. That being said, if you want to get into the super quick Uber Elder kill straight away, so playing stuff like Arc Mine, staying plus stuff like GC Mines will still be good. GC Mines is also good. People keep telling me that GC's trash now. GC's still a very, very strong skill. And then finally, is X best starter? If you enjoy it and it's not holding you back and you can clear the content that you want to do, then yes, it's the best starter for you. The real thing I'd recommend is work out what it is you want to do. Do you want to farm Uber Elder really quickly? Do you want to run maps very fast? Do you want to MF? Do you want to do Uber Lab? Do you want to just have fun? Pick a build which fits those goals for you. If you have absolutely no idea what to do and you find the new passive skill tree incredibly intimidating, then you can go to a lot of the old stuff which hasn't been changed, which is still very strong. Herald of Agony is a really good build which requires nothing and can be played in a million different ways. Vortex is basically exactly the same, can be played in a lot of different ways, and is really, really strong. Ellie Hit can be played in loads of different ways and is still really strong, even though it lost some of the leech stuff going on. Juggernaut was a very good option for a lot of builds which previously went Slayer or Scion, so if you're like, but Leech is dead now, Tarke, well, just play Juggernaut instead, and you haven't been nerfed. So yeah, basically, things are still fine, and if you think that it's not fine, then it probably is fine, and for the people playing the new stuff is really fun. As for what I'm personally leaning towards, I'm most likely playing a chaos-based dot build. I'm also going to be making some Ignite videos later into the league. I'm not planning on league starting the Ignite build. The reason why is Ignite has to reroll over some map mods. It has to reroll over Avoid Ailments and Elemental Reflect, whereas Chaos Damage over time doesn't have to reroll over any map mods. So I generally like league starting on builds which doesn't need to reroll anything. So anyway, I'm Tarke. Builds are still playable. Totems are really good. Traps are still fine. Mines are still good. Have a good day. Reverted SRS nerf, by the way. Bye-bye.